Priya Sharma had sent exactly 47 voice memos to the wrong number before she realized her mistake, which meant that somewhere in the city a complete stranger knew about her catastrophic date with the guy who brought his emotional support guinea pig to dinner. The stranger's name was Adrian Blackwell, and he'd listened to every single one. Before we begin, let us know in the comments what city you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy the story. It started 3 weeks ago with one wrong digit. Priya's sister Meera had moved to London for her PhD. New country, new phone number. Priya wrote it down on a post-it note that immediately got coffee-stained because that's how Priya's life worked. The first voice memo went out on a Tuesday morning. Meera, new number who dis? Just kidding, it's your sister. Anyway, you will not believe the tourist I had today. This woman asked if the Mona Lisa was in the Renaissance wing. The Mona Lisa. I had to explain that the Mona Lisa is in Paris. She asked if we could call them and have it shipped over for the weekend. Priya laughed into her phone, standing outside the Metropolitan Museum of Art in her tour guide uniform, completely unaware that the number she'd typed was off by one digit. The voice memo arrived on Adrian Blackwell's phone while he was sitting in a board meeting. He looked at the unknown number, considered deleting it, hit play out of pure curiosity instead. Her voice filled his earbuds, warm, funny, animated in a way that made her sound like she was smiling while she talked. Adrian almost laughed out loud in the middle of a presentation about quarterly projections. He should have texted back immediately, should have said wrong number, sorry, have a great day. He didn't. By the end of the first week, Priya had sent 15 voice memos to the wrong number. Adrian had listened to all of them. Voice memo 7 was about her shower situation. Meera, I'm not saying our apartment has a shower. I'm saying we have a vertical rain suggestion. Today it was cold, then hot, then cold again. Then it just gave up entirely. I stood there with shampoo in my hair for 10 minutes waiting for it to remember it was a shower. Adrian was at the gym running on a treadmill, smiling at his phone like an idiot. Voice memo 12 was the guinea pig date. Okay, so, date number 3 with Greg from the coffee shop. Seemed normal, little boring but harmless. He shows up with a guinea pig in a carrier, says it's his emotional support animal. I say that's fine, I love animals. The guinea pig's name is Hamilton, after the musical. Greg spent 45 minutes explaining Hamilton's dietary requirements while I ate pasta and wondered if this was my villain origin story. Adrian actually laughed out loud in his car, had to pull over because he was laughing too hard to drive safely. Voice memo 23 was about her student loans. I got another email from the loan people. You know what's fun, Meera? Owing $67,000 for a degree I'm not even using. I give tours to tourists who think the Sistine Chapel is in New York. That's what my art history honors degree got me. That and crippling anxiety every time I see my bank balance. Her voice got quieter on that one. Sad in a way that made Adrian's chest hurt. He was in his apartment, massive, empty, silent except for her voice. He looked around at his space. Floor-to-ceiling windows, designer furniture, everything perfect and cold and completely alone. He looked back at his phone, her voice the only warm thing in the entire room. Voice memo 35 arrived on a Friday night. Bad date update. His name was Marcus. Not your Marcus, obviously, a different Marcus. This Marcus talked about his ex-girlfriend for an hour and a half. Then asked if I wanted to be his +1 to his ex-girlfriend's wedding. I said no. He asked if I was sure. I said I was extremely sure. He said I was being closed-minded. I left. I'm eating bodega snacks in my pajamas now, and honestly, this is way better than Marcus and his ex-girlfriend drama. Adrian was smiling again. He'd started looking forward to these messages, checking his phone constantly, the highlight of his day. He knew her name was Priya now. She'd mentioned it casually in Memo 28 while describing a particularly difficult tour group. Anyway, Mira, Priya the tour guide strikes again. I survived another day of explaining Renaissance art to people who are mainly here for the gift shop. Adrian wrote it down. Priya, tour guide, Metropolitan Museum of Art. He knew he should text her, tell her about the wrong number. His finger hovered over the keyboard. He closed the messaging app. Just one more memo, he told himself. Then he'd tell her. But the next memo arrived, and the next, and he couldn't bring himself to make them stop. Voice memo 42 came on a particularly bad day. For her. For him too, actually. Mira, I don't know if this degree was worth it. Her voice was thick, like she'd been crying. 4 years of school to explain the Sistine Chapel to people who think it's in New York. I wanted to curate. I wanted to design exhibitions about the women artists history forgot. Instead, I'm in debt and giving tours and living in an apartment where the shower is optional. I don't know. Is this it? Is this my life now? Adrian sat in his penthouse apartment, completely alone. His best friend David had died 3 years ago. Cancer. Fast and brutal and unfair. Adrian had built his company with David, lost him, threw himself into work, built walls higher than his apartment building. He had money, success, everything anyone could want. He had nothing that mattered, except this voice on his phone, this woman he'd never met, who made him laugh, who made him feel less alone. Voice memo 47 arrived on a Friday afternoon. Okay, Mira, tomorrow night is the big museum gala. Fancy people, champagne, me pretending I belong there while internally screaming. I have to give tours to donors who spend more on watches than I make in a year. Wish me luck with the rich people. Love you, mean it, send snacks. Adrian stared at the message. Love you, mean it, send snacks. She said it every time, her sign-off, casual and sweet and so completely her. He looked at his desk. The Metropolitan Museum Charity Gala invitation sat next to his laptop. He'd declined it 2 weeks ago. Didn't do charity events. Waste of time. Boring conversations with boring people about tax write-offs. He picked up the invitation. Read it again. Annual Gala. Renaissance Wing. Private tours with museum educators. Exclusive access. He opened his laptop. Changed his RSVP. Yes, he'd attend. Yes, he needed +1 space. No, he didn't need a +1. Just him. His assistant Marcus called immediately. You're going to the Met Gala? Apparently. You never go to galas. I'm going to this one. Why? Adrian looked at his phone. At 47 voice memos from a woman who didn't know he existed. Research, he said. Research for what? For someone I need to meet. Marcus was quiet for a second, then, You're being weird. I know. Should I be concerned? Probably. Adrian ended the call. Looked at his phone one more time. He should tell her. He absolutely should tell her, but if he did, the voice memos would stop. And he wasn't ready for them to stop. Tomorrow night, he'd meet her. And then he'd figure out how to explain that he'd fallen in love with her voice 3 weeks before he ever saw her face. The next evening, Priya stood in her Brooklyn apartment staring at 3 different outfits laid out on her bed. Her roommate Jazz appeared in the doorway. The black dress. You didn't even look at the other options. I don't need to. The black dress makes you look like you could explain a Caravaggio and also possibly murder someone with your intellect. That's the energy we want. I'm giving tours to millionaires. I don't want to threaten them. You absolutely do. They need to know you're smarter than them. Black dress. Now. Priya put on the black dress. Jazz applied lipstick to Priya's face with the focus of a surgeon. You're going to be amazing, Jazz said. You're going to give brilliant tours. Rich people are going to throw money at the museum, and maybe one of them will be single and attractive and not weird. I'm not going to meet anyone. You literally never know. I'm going to give tours and come home and eat leftover pizza and tell you about the weird things people asked. That's fair. Priya pulled out her phone, started recording a voice memo. Okay, Mira. Voice memo number, let's say 48. I've lost count. Tonight's the gala and I have to give tours to people who think the Renaissance was a hotel chain. Send good vibes. Love you. Mean it. Send. Mean. Snacks? She sent it. Put her phone away. Jazz grabbed her arm. Let's go. The rich people are waiting. Across the city, Adrian stood in his penthouse trying to choose a tie. Marcus was on video call, looking exhausted. It's a gala, Adrian, not a date. Any tie works. It's networking. You've never cared about networking. I care now. Why? Adrian didn't answer. Just put on the tie. Navy blue, conservative, safe. You're acting strange, Marcus said. I'm fine. You're going to a charity event voluntarily. You're not fine. You're having some kind of episode. I just want to see the museum. You hate museums. I don't hate museums. You called the Louvre boring. The Louvre is boring, Marcus sighed. What's really going on? Adrian checked his phone. No new voice memo. Priya was already at the museum. She had no idea he was coming, had no idea he existed at all. Just networking, Adrian said. That's all. You're lying. I'm aware. He ended the call, put his phone in his pocket, checked his hair, checked his tie, checked his phone again. This was insane. He knew it was insane. He was going to a museum gala to meet a woman who had no idea he'd been listening to her voice for 3 weeks. But her voice had kept him company when he had no one, had made him laugh when he'd forgotten how, had made him feel less alone in his too big apartment with his too quiet life. He grabbed his keys, headed for the door. Tonight, he'd meet Priya. And then he'd figure out the rest. The Metropolitan Museum at night was transformed. Chandeliers, champagne, men in tuxedos and women in gowns that cost more than Priya's monthly rent. She stood near the Renaissance wing with her tour notes, trying not to look as nervous as she felt. Jazz whispered in her ear, "You've got this. You're the smartest person here." "I'm definitely not." "You absolutely are. Now go be brilliant." A small group was forming near the entrance to the gallery. Donors, patrons, people who wrote checks with too many zeros. Priya took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, put on her professional smile. She could do this. Give tours to rich people, explain Renaissance art, not say anything weird, totally manageable. The group gathered, about 12 people, expensive clothes, expensive jewelry, expensive everything. And then a man joined the group late, dark hair, sharp jaw, a suit that probably cost more than Priya's student loans. He looked at her, just looked, like he was seeing something that surprised him. Priya felt her face get warm, looked away, focused on her notes. "Good evening," she said, professional voice in place. "For those joining us, I'm Priya, and for the next 45 minutes I'm going to introduce you to artists you should know better than you do." The man who'd been staring was still staring. Priya ignored him, continued her introduction. "We'll start with Caravaggio because apparently I'm contractually obligated to begin every Renaissance tour with the man who painted dramatic shadows." A few people laughed. The staring man smiled, actually smiled. Priya felt something flutter in her chest. Absolutely not. She was working. No fluttering. She murmured to herself quietly, thinking no one could hear, "Please don't let the wealthy people ask stupid questions about the Renaissance. Please. I've had 3 glasses of champagne and my filter is gone." The staring man almost laughed out loud, caught himself, turned it into a cough. Priya noticed, looked at him confused. He met her eyes, clear, intense, like he knew something she didn't. She shook it off, continued the tour. They moved through the galleries. Priya explained paintings, answered questions, told stories about artists and their lives. Someone asked about Caravaggio's importance. This was it, the moment she'd been preparing for. Here's the thing about Caravaggio, Priya said, warming to her subject, and don't get me wrong. Technically brilliant, master of chiaroscuro, revolutionary use of light and shadow. But, she paused for effect, while he was painting dramatic biblical scenes with the same model over and over, Artemisia Gentileschi was painting trauma and power and female rage. And nobody hung her work in the main gallery. She gestured to a small painting in the corner, a woman holding a sword. Blood, violence, power. That's Judith slaying Holofernes, painted by a woman who survived assault and used her art to reclaim her narrative. She painted women as heroes, as strong, as capable of violence when violence was necessary. But sure, let's focus on Caravaggio's dramatic shadows. The group was silent. Then someone started clapping. Others joined. Priya felt her face flush. Sorry, I have opinions. Don't apologize, a woman in the front said. That was the best tour explanation I've heard. The staring man was watching her with something that looked like awe. Priya continued. The tour. Answered more questions, told more stories. But she kept noticing him. The way he listened. Really listened. Like every word mattered. When the tour ended, people thanked her. Shook her hand. Told her she should be teaching, not just giving tours. The group dispersed. Priya stood alone in the gallery, suddenly exhausted. Footsteps behind her. She turned. The staring man was standing there with 2 glasses of champagne. That was the best tour I've ever taken, he said. Have you taken many museum tours? No. But if I had, that would still be the best. She laughed. Actually laughed. Smooth. Was it? No. But points for trying. He grinned, handed her a champagne glass. She took it, studied him. Expensive suit, confident posture, but his eyes were nervous, like he wasn't sure what to say next. You seemed very interested in Caravaggio, she said. I was interested in your opinions about Caravaggio. Most people defend him. I'm not most people. Most, clearly, you're wearing a watch that costs more than my car. He looked at his watch, almost embarrassed. It was a gift. From my company. When we hit a milestone, I don't usually wear it. Why tonight? He hesitated. I wanted to make a good impression. On who? On you. Priya's heart did something complicated. You don't even know me. Not yet. There was something in his voice, something that made her feel like she was missing context. Like this conversation had started before she arrived. I'm Priya, she said, because they hadn't actually introduced themselves. Adrian. He held out his hand. She shook it. His hand was warm, slightly nervous. He was nervous. Why was he nervous? Adrian, she repeated. That sounds familiar. Does it? Adrian, she thought. Then her eyes went wide. Adrian Blackwell, you're Adrian Blackwell. Guilty. The tech CEO. That's me. I just gave you a museum tour and ranted about Caravaggio. You did. Was perfect. I thought tech billionaires only came to these things for tax write-offs. I came for the tour guide with opinions about Caravaggio. She stared at him. That's a very weird reason to attend a gala. It's working so far. A woman appeared next to them. Perfectly styled hair, designer dress, smile that didn't reach her eyes. Mr. Blackwell, the woman said. We're so pleased you could make it. I'm Victoria Hastings, Development Director. Your software proposal is very promising. Adrian's posture changed. More formal, more professional. Ms. Hastings, thank you for having me. We should discuss implementation details. Perhaps we could, Another museum staff member appeared, whispered something in Priya's ear. Priya's face fell slightly. I have to give another tour. Apparently someone requested me specifically. Adrian looked disappointed. Now? Now. She turned to go. Wait, Adrian said. She stopped, looked back. Can I have your number? He asked. To continue this conversation about Artemisia. She hesitated, looked at Victoria, who was watching with an unreadable expression, looked back at Adrian. You want my number? Very much. She pulled a museum pamphlet from her jacket pocket, wrote her number on it, handed it over. This is my real number, she said, the one that actually reaches me. Something flickered across his face, a smile he tried to hide. I'll text you. You better. She walked away, looked back once. He was watching her go, still holding the pamphlet like it was important. Victoria said something to him. He nodded but didn't look away from Priya. And then Priya turned the corner and he couldn't see her anymore. Adrian looked down at the pamphlet in his hand. Her number, written in her handwriting. His phone was in his pocket, with 47 voice memos. The same phone that had been receiving her private thoughts for 3 weeks. He should tell her, had to tell her, but not yet, not tonight. Tonight he'd met her, really met her, and she was exactly like her voice. Funny and brilliant and charming and real. Victoria was still talking about software implementation and donor meetings. Adrian barely heard her. He pulled out his phone, saved Priya's number, stared at it. 2 ways to reach her now. The wrong number that received her voice memos, and the real number she'd just given him. He typed a message to the real number. Artemisia is better than Caravaggio. Can we continue this debate over coffee? He hit send. Across the museum, Priya's phone buzzed in her jacket pocket. She was preparing for the second tour. Pulled out her phone, saw the message. Her face broke into a smile. Jazz appeared next to her. Who's texting you? Someone I just met. And I think I'm in trouble. Good trouble or bad trouble? Priya looked at the message again. I don't know yet, she typed back. Only if you promise not to defend Caravaggio. His response came immediately. I promise nothing. She was grinning now, full grin. Couldn't help it. Jazz grabbed the phone, read the messages. He's flirting, respond immediately. I'm working. Work later, flirt now. Priya grabbed her phone back, typed, Coffee sounds good. When? Tomorrow. I'm very impatient. Tomorrow works. I'll text you a place. Looking forward to it. She put her phone away, started the second tour, went through the motions, explained the paintings, answered questions. But her mind was somewhere else, on a man with nervous eyes and an expensive watch who came to a gala specifically to hear her talk about Renaissance art. After the gala ended, after the guests left, after Jazz dragged her home, Priya sat on her bed in her questionable Brooklyn apartment and stared at her phone. Adrian Blackwell had asked for her number, was texting her, wanted to have coffee. This was either the beginning of something amazing or the beginning of a spectacular disaster. Possibly both. She pulled up her voice memo app, hit record. Mira, you're not going to believe what just happened. I met someone at the gala. His name is Adrian Blackwell, and yes, that Adrian Blackwell, the billionaire CEO. He came to my tour and listened to me rant about Caravaggio and then asked for my number. We're having coffee tomorrow. I'm either about to have the best date of my life or I'm about to embarrass myself in front of a man who could buy my student loans with his weekend budget. Pray for me. Love you, mean it, send snacks. She sent the voice memo. Tamira's real number this time. The correct one she'd finally saved properly in her phone. Put her phone down, stared at the ceiling. Jazz opened the door without knocking. You're smiling at the ceiling. That's a good sign. I don't know what I'm doing. You're going on a date with a hot billionaire who likes your Caravaggio rants. You're winning. He's probably just being nice. He gave you his number at a gala. That's not nice, that's interested. Maybe. Definitely. Priya's phone buzzed. Message from Adrian. For the record, your Artemisia analysis was brilliant. Sleep well. She stared at the message. That's not interested, Jazz said, reading over her shoulder. That's very interested, Priya typed back. Thank you, you too. Then deleted it. Too formal. Typed, thanks, see you tomorrow. Sent it, put her phone face down. Tried not to think about coffee tomorrow. Failed completely. Across the city, Adrian sat in his apartment. Alone again. But different this time. He'd met her, heard her voice in person, watched her light up talking about art, saw her be exactly who she was in her voice memos, only more. He looked at his phone, at her real number saved in his contacts, at the 47 voice memos still in his other messages. He should delete them, should tell her, tomorrow. He'd tell her tomorrow. Or the day after, soon. He pulled up the voice memos, scrolled through them, stopped on number 12, the guinea pig date, hit play. Her voice filled his apartment again, warm, real, the voice that had kept him company for 3 weeks. Tomorrow he'd see her again, and maybe if he was lucky she'd keep talking to him, keep sharing her thoughts, keep being exactly who she was. He just had to figure out how to tell her that he already knew her better than she thought. How did you tell someone you'd fallen in love with their voice before you ever saw their face? He'd figure it out. He had to. Because losing her now after finally meeting her wasn't an option. The next morning, Priya stood outside the coffee shop 15 minutes early, which was a problem because being early meant she had time to panic. She paced the sidewalk, checked her reflection in the window, checked it again. She murmured to herself quietly, thinking no one could hear. It's just coffee, with a man who looks like he was sculpted by the same person who did David. No pressure. Totally normal. You're not going to say anything weird about Caravaggio. You're a professional. Professionals don't babble about Renaissance art on first dates. Inside the Café C, Adrian sat near the window with his coffee, early because he was too nervous to be on time. He heard every word, smiled into his cup, fell a little more in love. A minute later, Priya walked through the door, spotted him, waved nervously. He stood too fast. His chair scraped against the floor, loud. Everyone looked. Hi, he said. Hi. You're early? You're earlier? I'm always early. So am I. They sat. The table between them felt like an ocean and also like nothing at all. Coffee? He asked. Please. What do you want? She started to answer. He almost said oat milk latte, extra shot, because he'd heard her order it in voice memo 31. Caught himself just in time. Oat milk latte, she said, extra shot. That sounds good, I'll get the same. She smiled. You don't have to get what I'm getting. I want to. He went to the counter, ordered 2 oat milk lattes with extra shots. Came back. She was looking at her phone. Put it away quickly when he sat down. Sorry, she said. Jazz was demanding updates. Jazz is your roommate? And co-worker and professional life coach and occasionally my common sense. Sounds like a good friend. The best. She's the one who made me wear the black dress last night. It was a good choice. Was it? Very good. She blushed, looked away. You can't just say things like that. Why not? Because it makes me forget how to be professional. We're not at work. Fair point. The barista called their order. Adrian grabbed both cups, sat back down. Priya took a sip. This is good. It's your order. How did you know I'd like it? He froze, just for a second. Lucky guess? She studied him. You make a lot of lucky guesses. Do I? You knew I'd be at the gala. You knew I'd be giving tours. I saw it on the museum website. Did you? I'm very thorough when I'm interested in something. And you're interested in museum tours? I'm interested in you. She went still, set down her coffee. You're very direct. Only when I know what I want. And what do you want? To know everything about you. The irony of that statement hit him immediately. He already knew so much, too much, things she'd never told him. She didn't notice his panic, just smiled. That could take a while. I have time. Do you? I thought billionaire CEOs were busy people. I make time for things that matter. And I matter? Very much. She took another sip of coffee. Tell me about your company. What does Meridian Tech do? This was safer. Work he could talk about. We build accessibility software for museums and cultural institutions, virtual tours, audio descriptions, interfaces that work for people with disabilities. That's beautiful. It's just work. No, it's not. Most tech companies want to disrupt or monetize. You're trying to make things accessible. My best friend, David, he loved art, got sick, cancer. Couldn't leave the hospital at the end, couldn't visit museums anymore. I wanted to build something that would let people like him experience art even when they couldn't physically be there. Her face softened. I'm sorry. About your friend. It was 3 years ago, but thank you. Is that why you came to the gala? For the software partnership? He should say yes, should take the easy explanation. Partially, he said. And the other part? I heard the tour guide had strong opinions about Renaissance art. I wanted to hear them in person. You came to a charity gala because of tour guide reviews? When you say it like that, it sounds weird. It is weird. Is weird bad? I haven't decided yet. She was smiling, though. That was good. They talked about art, about her degree from NYU, about wanting to curate someday. Why don't you? He asked. Curate instead of giving tours. Student loans. I can't afford the pay cut. He almost mentioned the $67,000. Almost said he knew exactly how much. Caught himself. That's terrible, he said instead. It's life. I made choices. Now I'm paying for them, literally. It shouldn't be that way. But it is. She mentioned her sister Mira in London. Adrian's heart rate spiked. We're close, Priya said. I send her voice memos every day about my life, my terrible dates, whatever's on my mind. Voice memos? Yeah. It's easier than texting. I just talk to her like she's right there. That sounds nice. You say that like it's weird. It's not weird, it's sweet. I just don't have anyone I do that with. No family? Not close ones. David was my family. After he died, it's mostly just work. That sounds lonely. It is. He said it without thinking, without the walls he usually kept, up just honest and raw and real. She reached across the table, put her hand on his. I'm sorry, she said. He looked at her hand on his, her touch, her kindness, her complete lack of artifice. Those voice memos sound nice, he said quietly. Having someone who wants to hear about your day, who cares about the small things. Yeah, it is. They sat like that for a moment, her hand on his, the coffee shop busy around them, the world continuing while they existed in this small bubble. She pulled her hand back. Can I ask you something? He tensed. Sure. Why did you really come to that gala? And don't say the tour guide reviews. No one does that. He considered lying, considered the partial truth, went with something in between. I needed to meet you, he said. Why? Because I heard good things. About the tours, about you. And I wanted to see if they were true. Were they? You exceeded expectations. She laughed. Smooth. I'm trying. I can tell. Her phone buzzed. She checked it. Her face fell slightly. Everything okay? He asked. Yeah, just work stuff. Want to talk about it? Not really. But something had shifted, a small cloud over the conversation. They finished their coffee, walked outside, Brooklyn afternoon, cold but sunny. I had fun, she said. Me too. Even without debating Caravaggio? Especially without debating Caravaggio, though I reserve the right to defend him later. You can try. You'll lose. Probably. They stood outside the coffee shop, neither wanting to leave. Can I see you again? He asked. Dinner. A real date. This wasn't a real date? Coffee is a preview. Dinner is the actual thing. You have very specific definitions. I'm a details person. I'm noticing that. Is that bad? I haven't decided yet. Fair enough. She pulled out her phone. When? Friday? Friday works. I'll text you a place. Somewhere fancy? Somewhere good. Those aren't the same thing. I know, that's why I said good. She smiled. Full smile, the kind that reached her eyes. Friday, then. Friday. He watched her walk away. She looked back once, waved, he waved back. As soon as she turned the corner, he pulled out his phone, scrolled to his messages, the ones from the wrong number. No new voice memos today. She'd fixed the number, was sending them to the real Mira now. He felt the loss like a physical thing, but also relief. They were building something real now, something she was choosing. He just had to tell her about the voice memos, soon, before it got worse. Tomorrow, he told himself. He'd tell her tomorrow. Priya got home to find Jazz waiting with her laptop open. Tell me everything. It was coffee. Was he amazing? He was nice. Nice? That's it? Very nice. Interesting, kind of sad under the surface, like he's lonely but trying not to show it. Did you like him? I think so. Think? Okay, yes, I liked him. He's intense, but in a good way. Like everything I say actually matters to him. Jazz grinned. You're smitten. I'm not smitten. You're completely smitten. You have the face. What face? The I just had coffee with someone who might be important face. Priya threw a pillow at her. I'm going to shower. The optional shower? The extremely optional shower. She went to the bathroom, turned on the water, waited to see if it would cooperate. Cold, hot, cold again, then lukewarm. Good enough. After the shower, she sat on her bed with her phone, opened Google, typed Adrian Blackwell. The results loaded. Her eyes went wide. Meridian Tech founder, Forbes 30 under 30 net worth. Estimated at $3 billion, $3 billion with a B. She closed her laptop, opened it again, read more. Graduated MIT at 22, founded Meridian with his best friend David Chen. Revolutionary accessibility software. David died. Adrian kept building, company now worth over $10 billion. The man who just bought her coffee was a billionaire, like actual billionaire. She put her head in her hands. What's wrong? Jazz asked from the doorway. He's rich. We knew that. No. Like really rich. Forbes list rich. And I ranted about Caravaggio to a man who could buy the entire museum. He liked the rant. He asked you out again. Why would someone like him be interested in someone like me? Jazz sat on the bed. Because you're brilliant. Because you're funny. Because you know more about Renaissance art than anyone in that building. Because you're you. I have student loans and a shower that doesn't work. And he has money and loneliness. Maybe you balance each other out. Priya's phone buzzed. Message from Adrian. Thank you for coffee. Looking forward to Friday. P.S. I did some research. Artemisia's Judith-slaying Holofernes is objectively more interesting than Caravaggio's version. You were right. She stared at the message. What? Jazz asked. He did research about art because of our conversation. That's adorable. That's excessive. That's interest, serious interest. Priya typed back, research is unnecessary, but appreciated. And you're learning. There's hope for you yet. His response came fast. I'm a quick study when properly motivated. She was grinning at her phone now. Jazz grabbed it. Read the messages. He's flirting. Hard. I know. Are you going to flirt back? I don't know how. Priya, you have a degree from NYU. You give tours to millionaires. You can flirt. Art history didn't cover flirting. It should have. Priya took her phone back. Typed, motivation is key. I'll keep that in mind for Friday. Sent it before she could overthink it. Put her phone face down. I'm going to embarrass myself, she said. Probably, but in a charming way. The next day at work, Priya was giving a regular tour when Victoria Hastings appeared at the edge of the group, waited until the tour ended. Priya, a word? They stepped into an empty gallery. I saw you talking with Adrian Blackwell at the gala, Victoria said. We had a conversation about art. Did you know he's proposing a software partnership with the museum? I heard that. Accessibility software, very promising, very expensive, could change how we operate. That's wonderful. Victoria's smile didn't reach her eyes. I'd hate for any personal entanglements to complicate the business relationship. Priya stiffened. There's no entanglement. Good. Because someone at your education level wouldn't want people thinking you're trying to leverage a personal connection for professional advancement. The words landed like a slap. My education level? I just mean tour guides and tech CEOs don't usually run in the same circles. I'd hate to see you embarrassed if this turned out to be just networking on his part. Victoria smiled, walked away. Priya stood there, stung, angry, embarrassed. Her phone buzzed. Message from Adrian. How's your day? She stared at it. Typed, fine. Busy. Deleted it. Too short. Typed, good. You? Sent it. His response came immediately. Better now. Still thinking about Friday. She smiled despite herself, despite Victoria, despite everything. Friday arrived too fast and too slow at the same time. Priya changed outfits 4 times. Jazz vetoed 3. The blue dress, Jazz said, too fancy. It's perfect. You look like you belong in his world, but you're still you. I don't want to look like I belong in his world. Why not? Because I don't. Not yet, but maybe someday. Priya put on the blue dress. Adrian picked her up in a car. Not a limo, not flashy, just nice. You look beautiful, he said when she got in. You look pretty good yourself. Pretty good. I'm managing expectations, he laughed. Fair enough. They went to a restaurant in Brooklyn, neighborhood place, not Manhattan fancy, not trying to impress. How did you find this place? She asked. Research. You researched restaurants. I researched you, your neighborhood, what you might like. I wanted it to feel comfortable. That's very thoughtful. Or very stalkerish. Little bit both. They ordered, talked, fell into the rhythm they'd found at the coffee shop. He asked about her week. She told him about difficult tourists, about the woman who asked if the paintings were prints. He laughed, actually laughed, loud and real and unguarded. What? She asked. Nothing. You're funny. You haven't even heard my best stories. I'd like to. She told him about a tour where a kid asked if Michelangelo was related to the Ninja Turtle, about explaining the difference between the Sistine Chapel and the 16th Chapel, about the man who tried to touch a sculpture worth $3 million. Adrian hung on every word. like each story was the most important thing he'd ever heard. "You love it," he said, even when complaining. "You love teaching." "I do. Just wish I was teaching what I want to teach." "Tell me about your dream exhibition." She hesitated, then told him. "About Renaissance women artists. About Artemisia and Sophonisba and Lavinia. About the women whose work was attributed to male teachers or forgotten entirely." "The patriarchy has excellent PR," she said. "We know Caravaggio, we know Michelangelo, but who knows Properzia de Rossi, who knows Fede Galizia? They were brilliant. They were revolutionary, and history barely remembers them." "You remember them. Someone has to. You should curate that exhibition. Someday." "Why not now? I told you, money. What if money wasn't an issue?" She tensed. "Adriana, I'm not offering to pay, I'm just asking, hypothetically, if you could do anything." She relaxed slightly. "I'd design an exhibition that centers them. That shows their work as it deserves to be shown. That tells their stories. That proves they weren't footnotes. They were masters. That would be incredible." "Yeah, it would." They kept talking about his company, about David, about building something that mattered. "Do you still love it?" she asked. "The work?" "Some days. Other days it's just work. After David died, it felt empty, like I was building something that should have been ours but was only mine." "Is it still empty?" He looked at her, really looked. "Not lately." Her breath caught. "Adriana, sorry, too much?" "Maybe just enough." The waiter brought dessert. They shared it, argued about whether tiramisu was better than panna cotta. She said tiramisu, he said panna cotta. They agreed to disagree. He paid the check. She tried to split it. He refused. "Next one," he said. "Next one. Next date, you can pay." "There's going to be a next one?" "If you'll let me. I'll think about it." "How long will thinking take?" "At least until we leave this restaurant." "That's fair." They walked outside, Brooklyn streets. Cold night, stars trying to be seen through the city lights. "I had fun," she said. "Me too." "Even without debating Caravaggio?" "We can debate him next time." "Next time?" "I'm persistent." "I'm noticing." They reached her building, stood outside, neither wanting the night to end. "Thank you for dinner," she said. "Thank you for coming." "It wasn't a hardship." "No? You're decent company." "Decent?" "I'm managing expectations still." He grinned. "I'm going to kiss you now, if that's okay." "That's okay." He kissed her, soft, sweet, perfect. She pulled back, looked at him. "Okay. Okay. Very okay. Good. I should go inside." "You should." Neither of them moved. "Adrian?" "Yeah? Can I see you again soon?" "How soon? This weekend?" "I was hoping you'd ask." She kissed him again, longer this time, then pulled away. "Good night." "Good night, Priya." She went inside, climbed the stairs, unlocked her apartment. Jazz was on, waiting. "How was it?" "Good." "Just good?" "Really good." "Did he kiss you?" "Yes." "And?" "And I think I'm in trouble." "Good trouble?" "The best trouble." She went to her room, pulled out her phone. Message from Adrian. "For the record, James, my middle name is James." She stared at it. "How did you know I was wondering?" "Lucky guess." "You make a lot of those." "Only about you?" She was smiling, full smile, couldn't help it. "Adrian James Blackwell." Sounds very important. Priya Sharma sounds better. "You're smooth when you want to be." "I'm trying to impress you." "It's working." She put her phone down, lay back on her bed. Jazz appeared in the doorway. "You're glowing." "I'm not glowing." "You absolutely are. You're in love." "It's been 2 dates." "Doesn't matter. You're gone." Priya didn't deny it. Across the city, Adrian sat in his apartment with his phone. He'd kissed her, actually kissed her, and she'd kissed him back. This was real. They were real. He just had to tell her about the voice memos. Tomorrow. He'd tell her tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. His phone buzzed. Message from Marcus. You're being weird again. In a good way this time. I assume it's the museum woman? Her name is Priya. So yes. Yes. Are you going to tell her about the voice memos? Soon. How soon? Very soon. Adrian, I know I will. I just need the right moment. There's no right moment. Just tell her. Tomorrow. You said that yesterday. Tomorrow for real this time. Marcus sent a skeptical emoji. Adrian put his phone down, looked around his apartment. Still empty. Still too big. But different now. He had Priya's voice in person, her laugh, her kiss. Her presence in his life by choice. He just had to figure out how to confess that he'd fallen in love with her 3 weeks before they met. Tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. Or maybe the day after. Across the city, in a museum office, Victoria Hastings sat at her desk looking at phone records she absolutely should not have obtained. But she had connections. People who owed her favors. People who could find things. And what she found was interesting. Adrian Blackwell's number. Priya Sharma's number. Connected by voice messages, 47 of them, sent over 3 weeks, all before the gala. The timestamps didn't lie. He'd been receiving messages from her number before they met. Victoria smiled, made a note, put the documents in a folder. This was useful information, very useful. Adrian Blackwell was pursuing a relationship with a tour guide while simultaneously negotiating a multi-million-dollar software deal with the museum. That was complicated, messy, potentially problematic. And Victoria knew exactly how to use that information when the time came. She closed the folder, picked up her phone, texted Priya. Hi, Priya. Do you have time for coffee tomorrow? Woman to woman. I think there's something you should know about Adrian Blackwell. Sent it, put her phone away, waited. The truth was going to come out. Victoria would make sure of it. And when it did, she'd be there to pick up the pieces of whatever partnership arrangement the museum could salvage. 2 weeks passed. 2 weeks of texts and dates and stolen moments between her tours and his meetings. 2 weeks of falling. Adrian texted her every morning. Good morning messages with coffee emojis. Questions about her day. Random thoughts about art he'd been reading about. Priya sent him photos of weird tourists. Funny quotes from her tours. Questions about his work that she actually cared about the answers to. Jazz said they were disgusting, in the best way. On a Tuesday afternoon, Adrian texted, Can you get tomorrow off? Maybe. Why? Surprise. I don't like surprises. You'll like this one. How do you know? Trust me. She got Wednesday off, called in a favor with another guide, told her supervisor she had a family thing, Jazz, helped her pick an outfit. The green dress. It's the middle of the week. He's taking you somewhere nice, I can tell. How? Because he's been planning it for days, Marcus told me. You're talking to Marcus now? We exchanged numbers at the gala, he's funny. And he gives me updates on Adrian's spiral into romantic obsession. Adrian is not spiraling. Adrian is absolutely spiraling. Marcus says he spent 40 minutes yesterday debating which museum to take you to. Which museum? He didn't say, that's the surprise part. Wednesday morning, Adrian picked her up in the same car. Not flashy, just nice. Where are we going? She asked. You'll see. You're very mysterious. I'm trying to be romantic. Is it working? You tell me. They drove through the city, stopped in front of the Frick collection. Priya's breath caught. Adrian, come on. They walked up to the entrance. A private viewing sign hung on the door. What did you do? She asked. I called in a favor. The museum's closed today, but they're letting us in, just us. Just us? And the security guards, but they'll pretend we're not here. She stared at him. This is insane. Is that bad? I don't know yet. They walked through empty galleries, just them and the art and the silence that felt sacred. Priya stopped in front of a Vermeer, explained the light, the composition, the way the artist captured a moment so ordinary it became extraordinary. Adrian watched her, not the painting, her. What? She asked. Nothing. You just light up when you talk about art. I do not light up. You absolutely do. Your whole face changes. That's called being passionate about my job. It's beautiful. She looked away, blushing. You can't just say things like that. Why not? Because it makes me forget how to be professional. We're alone in a museum. I don't think professional applies. Fair point. They moved through the rooms. She showed him her favorite pieces, told him stories about the artists, about their lives and their struggles and their triumphs. In front of a Bellini painting, she talked about Renaissance Venice, about the way color was status, about the trade routes that brought pigments from around the world. You should be teaching this in a classroom, he said, not just giving tours. Someday. You keep saying someday. Because it's true. What if I told you that you could start now? She turned to face him. What do you mean? Nothing, just you're brilliant, and you should be doing work that matches your brilliance. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. I know. I just wish you had more. She studied his face. How did you know this was my favorite collection? He froze, just for a second. You mentioned it. At some point. I don't think I did. Maybe I read it somewhere, a review of your tours. I've never given a tour here. Then I must have assumed you love Renaissance art. The Frick has Renaissance art. Adrian. Yeah? How do you know so much about me? His heart was pounding. I pay attention. It's more than that. What do you mean? You remember everything I say. Every small detail, my favorite coffee, my schedule, things I barely remember telling you. Is that bad? I don't know, it's just unusual. I care about you when you care about someone you remember. She wanted to believe that, wanted to believe it was just attention and not something else. Show me more, she said, letting it go. They walked through more galleries. The conversation shifted, lighter, easier. In front of a Holbein portrait, she talked about the way clothing told stories in Renaissance paintings, every button, every fold, every color choice. You could write a book about this, he said. Maybe someday. There's that word again. I like that word, it has possibility. It also has delay built in. That's the point. They sat on a bench in front of a Rembrandt. Thank you for this, she said. It's the most thoughtful thing anyone's ever done for me. It's just a museum visit. It's a private museum visit. Do you know how much this probably cost? I don't want to talk about money. Neither do I, but Adrian, it's a lot. You're worth a lot. She looked at him. Really looked. You barely know me. I know enough. Do you? He wanted to tell her, right there, in front of the Rembrandt, tell her everything. Instead, he said, I know you're brilliant and kind and funny. I know you care about things that matter. I know you deserve better than you think you do. And I know I want to keep learning everything else. She kissed him, right there in the museum, surrounded by priceless art, kissed him like he was the only thing worth looking at. When she pulled back, her eyes were wet. I think I'm falling for you, she said. I know I'm falling for you. That's terrifying, completely, but also kind of amazing, incredibly amazing. They sat there, his arm around her shoulders, her head on his chest, just existing in the quiet. A security guard coughed. "Folks, we need to close up in 10 minutes. They stood, walked toward the exit. Outside in the afternoon sun, Priya turned to him. "Can I tell you something?" she asked. "Anything. I've had a lot of bad dates, really bad dates, guinea pig bad." He almost laughed, caught himself. "That sounds terrible." "It was. But this isn't bad. High praise. I mean it. You're not bad at all. Still managing expectations? Always." He drove her home, walked her to her door. "I had the best day," she said. "Oh, me too. Thank you for the surprise. Thank you for trusting me." She kissed him goodbye, went inside, pulled out her phone, started recording. "Okay, Mira. I just had a private viewing at the Frick collection. Private. Just me and Adrian. It was the most romantic thing anyone's ever done for me. I think I might be falling in love with him, which is insane because it's been 2 weeks, but Mira, when I'm with him, everything else disappears. It's just him and me and whatever we're talking about. And I feel seen. Actually seen. Not just the tour guide version or the broke version or the version with too many opinions about Renaissance art. Just me." She paused, then continued. "He knows everything about me, every little thing. He remembers what I say. Pays attention in a way that should be creepy but somehow isn't. It's like he's been studying me, learning me. And I don't know if that's romantic or if I'm missing something, but I like it. I really like it." She sent the voice memo. To Mira's real number now, the corrected one. Adrian wouldn't hear this one. She felt relieved, and also sad, like she missed sending them to the wrong number. To him, even though she hadn't known it was him. A week later, Adrian cooked her dinner at his apartment. She arrived, with wine, looked around at his space, still impossibly clean, still too big. "This place is massive," she said. "It's too big." "For one person? For anyone, really." "Why did you buy it?" "I thought I needed space. Turns out I needed people. And now I have you. That's enough." They cooked together. Well, he cooked. She supervised and stole bites. "Where did you learn to do this?" she asked. "David, my friend. He said everyone should know how to feed themselves properly." "He sounds like he was wonderful." "He was." "Tell me more about him." And he did. Really talked about David, about their friendship, about building the company together, about losing him too soon. "I'm sorry," she said when he finished, "that you lost him, that you've been alone." "I haven't been alone, not really. I've had work. That's not the same thing." "I know." "Are you lonely?" He looked at her. "I was. Before you. And now? Now I'm here, with you. Talking about things I never talk about. Feeling things I forgot how to feel. So no, not lonely anymore." She reached across the counter, took his hand. "I'm glad," she said, "that you're not lonely, that I get to be here." "Me too." They ate, talked about their weeks, about her difficult tour groups, about his software development problems. "Tell me about your company," she said. "Really, I want to understand it." So he explained. About accessibility, about making museums available to people who couldn't physically be there, about building technology that mattered. My friend David, at the end, he couldn't leave the hospital, couldn't see art anymore. It killed him, not the cancer, the isolation, the loss of beauty. So you built something to fix that. I tried. You succeeded. Maybe. Definitely. She told him about her student loans, really told him. $67,000, the weight of it, the way it controlled her choices. "I could help," he said carefully. "No, Priya. I appreciate it, really, but no, I need to solve this myself." "Why?" "Because if you solve it, then I owe you. And I don't want this relationship to be about debt. It wouldn't be. It would. In some way, it always would be. He nodded. Understood. Okay, but if you change your mind. I won't. But thank you. They moved to the couch, wine glasses, city lights through the windows. Can I ask you something? She said. Always. Are you happy with your life, with your work? I'm happy right now, with you. That's not what I asked. I know. He was quiet for a moment then. I was happy when David was alive, when we were building something together. After he died, work became just work, a thing to fill time, to avoid thinking about the empty apartment. And now? Now I'm starting to remember what happy feels like. She kissed him, soft and slow and meaningful. I need to tell you something, he said. Her heart skipped. Okay. Love you. She pulled back, stared at him. What? I know it's fast. I know we've only known each other a few weeks, but Priya, I love you. The way you talk about art, the way you care about things, the way you're funny and brilliant and kind, the way you make me feel less alone. I love you. Her eyes filled with tears. Adriana, you don't have to say it back. I just needed you to know. I love you too. Yeah? Yeah, I absolutely do, and you're right, it's insane, it's too fast, but I love you anyway. He kissed her, long and deep and full of everything they were both feeling. She pulled back, laughed a little, cried a little. Say it again, he whispered. I love you. Again. I love you, Adrian Blackwell. I love you, Priya Sharma. She stayed late, talking, kissing, planning their future like it was already certain. When she finally left, she walked down to his building lobby and murmured to herself while waiting for her car. That just happened. That definitely just happened. Mira, I just told a man I love him, and I think I actually mean it. Also, we need to discuss his kitchen. The man has a wine fridge. An actual wine fridge. Who has a wine fridge? I can answer that, Adrian said behind her. She jumped, turned. How long were you standing there? Long enough to hear you reporting to Mira about my appliances. Her face went bright red. I tell her everything. I know. Something in his tone. She looked at him closer. Adrian? He kissed her instead of answering. Text me when you get home. I will. She left, got in the car. Tried not to think about the way he'd said I know like he really knew. The next week was perfect. Too perfect. They saw each other every day. Quick coffee between her tours, lunch in the park, dinner at her place where he met her roommates properly, and Jazz interrogated him about his intentions. They're very good intentions, he said. They better be. She's my best friend. Mine, too. Quickly becoming. Priya smiled at that, but small things kept happening. Small inconsistencies. On Tuesday, they met for coffee. Different shop this time. They were in line. The barista asked what they wanted. Oat milk latte with an extra shot for her, Adrian said. Black coffee for me. They got their drinks, sat down. How did you know my order? Priya asked. What? I didn't tell you what I wanted. He blanched. You? Yes, you did. When? Just now, in line. No, you ordered before I said anything. I must have heard you say it before. At our first coffee date. We ordered at the counter that day, separately. Pause. He was sweating slightly. Lucky guess? He tried. She studied him. You make a lot of lucky guesses. I'm very observant. Too observant. Is that possible? I'm starting to think so. She let it go, but she filed it away. On Thursday, he texted her, Good luck with the 2 p.m. tour. She stared at the message. Texted back, How did you know I had a 2 p.m. tour? Typing bubbles, longer than usual. Didn't you mention it? No. I must have assumed you usually work afternoons. I never told you my schedule. You've mentioned it, in passing, I just remember. She wanted to believe that, but it felt like more than memory. On Saturday, they were at her apartment. Cramped space, questionable shower, Jazz out with friends. They were cooking dinner. Well, attempting to. "Where's your other roommate?" he asked. "Jazz and Aro." "How do you know I have two roommates?" He froze, spatula in hand. "You told me." "I definitely didn't. Maybe I saw the rooms, basic math." "We keep those doors closed." Silence, tension growing. "Adrian, how do you know so much about me?" "I told you I pay attention." "It's more than attention. You know things you shouldn't know, my coffee order, my schedule, my living situation, things I don't remember telling you. Maybe you told me and forgot. Or maybe you already knew." "What does that mean?" "I don't know, you tell me." He should confess, right now, this was the moment. I care about you, so I remember things. Everyone says that, but this is different." "How?" "Like you've been studying me, like you had a head start somehow." His heart was pounding. "Priya." Her phone rang. Victoria. Perfect timing. Always. "I need to take this," she said. "It's work." She stepped into her room. Adrian stood in the kitchen, panicking. He heard her voice, muffled through the door, surprised, then confused, then agreeing to something. She came back out. Her face was strange. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Yeah, Victoria wants to meet for coffee tomorrow. Woman to woman," she said. "About what?" "She didn't say, probably museum politics." "Do you have to go?" "I should. She's technically my boss's boss, and she's been, not unfriendly, but weird." "Weird how?" "Like she knows something I don't." Adrian's stomach dropped. What could she know? "I don't know. That's why it's weird." They finished cooking. Ate, but the ease was gone, replaced by something unsettled. That night, Priya lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Jazz came home late, saw she was still awake. "You okay?" Jazz asked. "Do you think Adrian is hiding something?" "Everyone's hiding something. That's not helpful." "What makes you think he's hiding something?" "He knows too much about me. Things I don't remember telling him. Maybe he's just really good at listening. Or maybe it's something else." "Like what?" "I don't know, that's the problem." Jazz sat on the bed. "Do you love him?" "Yes." "Does he love you?" "He says he does." "Do you believe him?" "I want to." "That's not the same thing." "I know." Sunday morning, Priya met Victoria at a coffee shop. Neutral territory. Victoria arrived perfectly dressed, perfectly composed, perfectly ready to detonate a bomb. "Thank you for meeting me," Victoria said. "Of course, what's this about?" "Adrian Blackwell." Priya's defenses went up. "What about him?" "I've been doing some due diligence on the software partnership, standard procedure." "Okay." "And I found something concerning." Victoria pulled out papers, phone records, timestamps. Priya's blood went cold. "These are voice messages," Victoria said, "sent from your number to Adrian's number, 47 of them, over 3 weeks, before you even met at the gala." Priya stared at the documents, her voice memo numbers, the dates, the times, all sent to Adrian's number. "That's not possible," she said. "Look at the timestamps, Priya, your voice memos, to what you thought was your sister's number, all received by him. But I fixed the number after the first week. The first 47 went to him, before you corrected it." Priya felt like she couldn't breathe. Every memo, every embarrassing story, every insecurity, every private thought, the guinea, pig date, her shower, her student loans, her career frustration, her thoughts about art and life and everything. He'd heard it all. He's been listening to your private messages for weeks, Victoria said. Before the gala, before he approached you. He came to that event specifically because he knew you'd be there. How do you know that? He changed his RSVP the day after your last voice memo mentioned the gala. He wasn't planning to attend until he heard you'd be giving tours. Priya's hands were shaking. I thought you should know, Victoria said. What he did is invasive. Some might call it stalking. Why are you telling me this? Because I don't like watching good people get manipulated. You deserve to know the truth. Victoria left, paid for her own coffee, walked away. Priya sat there, staring at the phone records, 47 voice memos. He'd listened to 47 voice memos. Her phone buzzed. Message from Adrian. Thinking about you, coffee later? She stared at the message. He knew everything. Every embarrassing thing she'd said. Every private thought. Every moment she'd thought she was talking to her sister, and he'd let her think he was getting to know her naturally. She stood, left the coffee shop, went straight to the museum, found him in a gallery. He was with museum staff. Talking about software implementation, he saw her face, knew immediately something was wrong. Priya, we need to talk. Now. They stepped into an empty gallery, away from everyone. She showed him the phone records. Were you going to tell me? She asked. His face went pale. Priya, I can explain. 47 voice memos. You've been listening to me for 3 weeks before we even met. It wasn't like that. What was it like, Adrian? Because from where I'm standing, you've been listening to my private thoughts. Every embarrassing thing I said. I know. I should have told you immediately, Yes, you should have told me immediately. The first memo you should have texted wrong number, but you didn't. Because your voice was. God, Priya, your voice was the most real thing in my life. That's not an excuse. I know it's not. But I was alone. David was dead. I was living in this empty apartment with nothing but work, and then your voice memos started arriving. So you just kept listening. I kept listening. Every embarrassing moment, every terrible date, the guinea pig date. Voice memo 43, he said quietly. You even remember the numbers. I remember all of them. That's creepy, Adrian. That's genuinely creepy. I know. She was shaking, angry and hurt and humiliated. You knew everything about my loans, my insecurities, my fears, my stupid shower, everything, and you let me think you were discovering me. I was discovering you. The you that you are when someone's watching is different from the me that nobody's supposed to hear. That's the point. Those were private. They were for my sister, not for you, not for anyone. You're right. You're completely right. How am I supposed to trust you? Every time we talked, you already knew what I was going to say. Every time I shared something, you'd already heard it. She was crying now. Angry tears. Hurt tears. Do you know how humiliating this is? Every moment I thought we were connecting, every story I told, every vulnerability I showed, you already knew. You'd already heard it all. Not everything. The things you've told me since we met, those were new. Those were you choosing to share. But I didn't have a choice with the first 47. You took that from me. I know. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry isn't enough. I know that too. Were you ever going to tell me? Yes. I was trying to find the right moment. There's no right moment for this, Adrian. This is surveillance. This is violation. It is. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. I need space. How much space? I don't know, but I can't. I can't look at you right now. Priya, please. Don't make this harder. She turned to go. I love you, he said. She stopped, didn't turn around. You love the version of me you heard in those voice memos. You don't know the real me. I do know you. No, you don't. Because the real me wouldn't have shared those things with you. The real me needed those thoughts to be private, and you took that privacy away. She walked away, left him standing there in the empty gallery, surrounded by priceless art, completely alone. Outside the museum, Priya pulled out her phone, started recording a voice memo, then stopped. Who was she even recording for anymore? She murmured to herself instead, just processing out loud. 47 memos. He listened to 47 memos and didn't tell me. Every embarrassing thing I said, every terrible date, oh God, the guinea pig date. He knows about the guinea pig date. He knows everything. Inside the museum, Adrian stood by a window, heard her voice faintly, realized how badly he'd hurt her, realized words wouldn't fix this. He needed to do something, something that proved he understood, that he was sorry, that he loved the real her, not just the voice memo version. He pulled out his phone, called Marcus. I messed up, he said. I know, I told you to tell her. She found out. How bad? She won't talk to me. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, but I need to fix this. Can you? I have to try. He looked out at the city, at the life continuing around him while his world fell apart. He'd fallen in love with her voice, but he'd loved her even more in person. Every moment, every conversation, every choice she made to share herself with him. He just had to prove that to her. He just had to show her that he loved all of her, not just the parts she'd accidentally shared. He had 3 days to figure out how day 1 without him was the hardest. Priya called in sick to work, stayed in bed, stared at the ceiling. Jazz brought tea, sat on the edge of the bed. Want to talk about it? Jazz asked. He knew everything before we even met. I know. Every embarrassing thing I said, every terrible date, every insecurity. That's really bad. But also what? Also, he fell in love with the real me, the me I am when nobody's watching, the me I was too afraid to show him. That doesn't make it okay. I know. Priya rolled over, buried her face in the pillow. Do you want me to hate him? Jazz asked. Yes. Okay, he's terrible, the worst. How dare he listen to your voice memos? But also, I miss him. I know you do, which makes me angry. That's fair. Priya's phone buzzed. A text from Adrian. She didn't read it, deleted it without looking. Another buzz, another text. Delete. 5 more over the course of the day. She deleted them all. The other side of the city, Adrian sat in his apartment, alone again. Marcus was on video call, looking concerned. You look terrible, Marcus said. I feel terrible. Have you eaten? Not really. Adrian, I know. What are you going to do? I don't know. She won't answer my calls, won't read my texts. I can't blame her. You really messed up. I'm aware. But also, Adrian looked up. Also what? Also, you fell in love with her. Actually in love. I've known you for 5 years and I've never seen you like this. That doesn't fix what I did. No. But it means something. Adrian put his head in his hands. I don't know how to fix this. Can you fix it? I have to try. Day 2, Priya went back to work. Had to. Couldn't afford to miss more days. Gave tours. Smiled at tourists. Explained Renaissance art like her heart wasn't breaking. During lunch, she pulled out her phone, started recording a voice memo to Mira. Stopped. Who was she even talking to? Talking. Anymore? Every voice memo felt contaminated now, like Adrian might somehow hear them, even though he couldn't, even though she'd fixed the number. She deleted the recording, put her phone away. Victoria appeared during her afternoon break. How are you holding up? Victoria asked. I'm fine. I heard you haven't been talking to Adrian. Who told you that? Museum gossip. People notice things. I'm handling it. Good. The software partnership is still moving forward. Adrian's being very professional about it. That's good. Though he did ask about you. Priya's heart jumped. What did he say? Asked if you were okay, if you needed anything. What did you tell him? That you were fine, that you didn't need anything from him. Thank you. Victoria nodded, walked away. Priya stood there, feeling hollow. That afternoon, Jazz showed up at Adrian's apartment. He answered the door looking worse than the day before. You look like death, Jazz said, pushing past him. Thanks. Priya doesn't know I'm here. Why are you here? Because you look like death and someone needs to check on you. I'm fine. You're clearly not fine. Adrian sat on his couch. Jazz sat across from him. She's really hurt, Jazz said. I know. Like devastatingly hurt. I know. But also. Why does everyone keep saying but also? Because it's complicated. What you did was wrong, genuinely wrong. I know. But she's been leaving voice memos to Mira about you. Adrian's head snapped up. What? About missing you, about being scared of being known, about how you're the only person who ever really saw her. She said that? Not to you. To Mira, but yes. That doesn't change what I did. No, but it means it's not over, if you're willing to fix it. How? She won't talk to me. Show her you see her, not just through stolen voice memos, actually see her, the way she wants to be seen. Adrian was quiet for a long moment. Then he pulled out his phone, made a call. I need to speak to the museum board, he said. I have a proposal. Jazz watched him, saw something shift in his face. What are you going to do? She asked. Something that costs me everything, because that's what she deserves. Day 3, Adrian worked 18 hours straight. Museum staff came and went. Technicians installed audio equipment. Designers built room dividers. Marcus brought him coffee. You're insane. Probably. This is costing you millions. 4 million to be exact in lost software revenue. And you're okay with that? I'm more than okay with it. It's what I should have done from the beginning. What's that? Been vulnerable first, shown her my private thoughts before I ever heard hers. The exhibition was taking shape, room after room, audio installations, each one a voice memo from anonymous volunteers. Real people's private thoughts, confessions, hopes, fears, secrets, all leading to room 48, the final room, his room. Victoria walked through late in the afternoon. What is this? She asked. It's called the things we say when we think nobody's listening. This is your software demonstration? No, this is personal. She looked around, saw the rooms, the audio equipment, the care in every detail. You're doing this for her? Yes. She might not even come. I know. You're costing yourself millions. I know that too. Why? Because I hurt her, and words won't fix it. So I need to do something that shows her I understand, that I'm sorry, that I love her. Victoria was quiet. Then, you really love her. More than anything. Good luck. She left. Adrian kept working. In room 48, he recorded the final audio. His voice. Raw and honest and completely vulnerable. 47 separate recordings. One for each of her voice memos, every day since the fight. His apology, his love, his understanding of what he did wrong, his hope that she might forgive him. He listened to the playback, heard his own voice exposed in a way he'd never been exposed before. Perfect. Marcus found him sitting in the empty room 48 at midnight. It's done, Adrian said. It's good, really good. Do you think she'll come? I don't know. But if she doesn't, it won't be because you didn't try. Adrian pulled out a note card, wrote her address, wrote a time, wrote a simple message. Gallery 632, last tour starts at 8 p.m. This one's just for you. I'll understand if you don't come. but I hope you do. A. He sealed it in an envelope, handed it to Marcus. Take this to her apartment. Leave it at her door. Don't wait for her to answer. You're not going to give it to her yourself? She doesn't want to see me. This way she has a choice. Okay. Marcus? Yeah? Thank you. For everything. Don't thank me yet. She might not come. I know. Marcus left with the envelope. Adrian sat in room 48 in the silence, waiting. Friday morning, Priya came home from an early tour to find an envelope at her door. Just her name, his handwriting. She stared at it for a long time, almost threw it away, opened it instead. Museum visitor pass. Time written, 8 p.m. Friday, and a note. Gallery 632, last tour starts at 8 p.m. This one's just for you. I'll understand if you don't come, but I hope you do. A. She held the note. Read it again. Jazz appeared behind her. What is it? Priya showed her. Are you going to go? Jazz asked. I don't know. Yes, you do. I'm still angry. You can be angry and still go. What if it's not enough? What if it is? Priya looked at the note again, at his handwriting, at the simple request. I'm scared, she said. Of what? Of forgiving him. Of being known this completely, of letting someone see all of me. Priya, he fell in love with the real you. The you that you're always afraid to show people. That's terrifying. But it's also kind of beautiful. Is it? I think so. Priya looked at the clock. 7:15 p.m. I have to decide. You already have. Priya went to her room, changed clothes, put on the blue dress. The one from their dinner date. Came back out. Jazz was waiting with her coat. Go, Jazz said. What if I can't forgive him? Then you'll know. But you have to hear him out first. Priya took her coat, grabbed the visitor pass, looked at Jazz. If this goes badly, I'll be here, with ice cream and terrible reality TV. Thank you. Go before you overthink it. Priya left, took the subway, got off near the museum, walked slowly. Every step a question, every step a choice. She could turn around, go home, delete his number, move on, or she could go in. Listen, give him a chance to explain, to show her whatever he'd built. She reached the museum at 7:55 p.m., stood outside, staring at the entrance. Inside, Adrian stood near Gallery 632, empty museum around him. Just security guards and silence. He checked his watch. 7:58 p.m. She wasn't coming. He'd expected that, prepared for it, but God, he hoped she'd come. 7:59 p.m. He heard footsteps, distant, getting closer. His heart stopped. 8:00 p.m. Priya walked around the corner. Visitor pass in hand, blue dress, nervous eyes. She saw him, stopped. They stood there, 10 feet apart, the weight of everything between them. I almost didn't come, she said. But you came. Show me what you built. He wanted to hug her, to apologize again, to beg for forgiveness. Instead, he just nodded, gestured to the entrance of Gallery 632. This way. They walked into the first room together, and everything changed. They walked through the first room together, side by side, not touching. The space between them felt like miles. A voice played through speakers, a woman's voice, not Priya's, someone else. I'm afraid I'm not good enough for this job. Everyone else seems so confident, so certain, and I'm just pretending, hoping nobody notices. The recording ended. Silence. They moved to the next room. A man's voice this time. I miss my mom every single day. It's been 5 years and I still pick up the phone to call her. Still forget for a second that she's gone. Next room. I pretend I have it together. My friends think I'm fine. My family thinks I'm thriving. But I'm drowning, and I don't know how to ask for help. Priya stopped, looked at Adrian. What is this? She asked. The things we say when we think nobody's listening. Everyone has them. These are real memos from volunteers, people who wanted to share their private thoughts. Anonymously. Why? Because I wanted you to see that you weren't alone. In being vulnerable. In having private thoughts. In saying things you'd never say if you knew someone was listening. They kept walking. Room after room. Voice after voice. Someone talking about their failed marriage. Someone confessing they'd lied about being happy. Someone admitting they were in love with their best friend. Real, raw, human. Priya felt tears on her face, didn't wipe them away. Room 23, a young woman's voice. I fell in love with someone I'm not supposed to love. Someone who's all wrong on paper, but when I'm with them, everything makes sense. Room 35, an older man. I know I messed up. I just hope she gives me another chance because I can't imagine my life without her. Room 42, a teenager. I'm scared of being known, but I'm more scared of being alone. Priya stopped again. Adrian. Yeah? How many rooms are there? 48. Her breath caught. 48. One for each of your voice memos plus one more. They walked through the remaining rooms, each voice different, each confession unique, but all of them vulnerable, all of them real. They reached room 47, the last voice before his. A woman, crying softly. I don't know if I can forgive him, but I miss him. God, I miss him so much. The recording ended. Priya and Adrian stood in silence. One more, she whispered. They walked into room 48. The room was different, simpler. Just a bench and speakers, a sign. Voice memo, now 48, for Priya. She sat down. He stood by the door, waiting. The audio began. His voice, vulnerable in a way she'd never heard before. This is voice memo number 48, and it's the first one I'm actually sending to you. Well, not sending. Playing. If you're hearing this, you came. I wasn't sure you would. Priya closed her eyes, listened. I've been recording these for 3 days. 47 of them. One for every memo I listened to without telling you. It felt right. His recorded voice continued. Voice memo 1. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix it, but I'm sorry. Voice memo 12. I shouldn't have listened. The first one was a mistake, but I kept listening because your voice was. God, Priya, your voice was the only real thing in my life. Voice memo 23. I was alone. That's not an excuse, just context. My best friend died and I built walls and I lived in this perfect apartment with nothing in it except silence. And then your voice broke the silence. She was crying now. Full tears. Voice memo 35. The guinea pig date made me laugh for the first time in months. I played it 7 times. You said emotional support guinea pig like it was the most absurd thing you'd ever heard, and I fell a little bit in love with you right then. Voice memo 47. I fell in love with your unfiltered thoughts, with the version of you that you were too scared to show the world, and I know that's not fair, because you didn't choose to show me that version. I took it, and I'm sorry. His voice broke slightly on the recording. But Priya, every moment since the gala, I've been falling in love with you all over again. The you that I get to see. The you that chose to know me back. The you that teaches me about Renaissance art and calls me out when I'm wrong and makes me want to be better. This exhibition cost me $4 million in software revenue. I gave them the system for free in exchange for the gallery space. Marcus said I was insane. He's probably right. But I needed you to know I'd give up anything to prove I love the real you, not just the voice memo version. You. Priya was openly sobbing now. So here's what I'm asking. Can you forgive me? Not right now, not today, but eventually. Can you trust me again? Can we build something where you choose what to share? Where I don't already know everything? Can we start over? not from the beginning, but from a place of honesty. The recording paused, then continued with the final line. Because I love you, Priya Sharma, I love you and I mean it, and I promise I'll always send snacks. The audio ended. Silence filled the room. Adrian was still standing by the door, watching her, waiting. She stood up, walked to him. 47 memos, she asked. 1 for each of yours. $4 million? Worth it. You're insane. Probably. Voice memo 48 wasn't bad. He almost smiled. Yeah? But I think you need to work on your endings. Show me how. She kissed him, long and deep and full of everything she'd been holding back. When she pulled away, they were both crying. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry. I know. Can you forgive me? Eventually, maybe, if you promise something. Anything. No more secrets, ever, no matter how small. No matter how embarrassing, you tell me everything. No more secrets. And you let me send voice memos again. But this time, you respond, like a normal person with your own voice memos. Deal. And you never ever listen to something that's not meant for you. Never, I promise. She kissed him again, softer this time. I love you, she said. Even though you're a creepy billionaire who listens to other people's voice memos. I love you too. Even though you talk to yourself in public places. We're a mess. A perfect mess. They stood there, in room 48, surrounded by his vulnerability, by his apology made public. Take me home, she said. Your place or mine? Mine. With the optional shower and the roommates who will definitely interrogate you. I can handle Jazz. You say that now. They walked through the museum hand in hand, past all 47 rooms, past the voices, past the vulnerability. Outside, the city was alive, night sounds, people walking, life continuing. Thank you, she said, for this, for being vulnerable first. Thank you for coming, for giving me a chance. Don't mess it up again. I won't, I promise. 6 months later. Priya sat in her new office at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, small but hers, a nameplate on the door. Priya Sharma, Assistant Curator, Renaissance Wing. She was working on exhibition proposals, her dream exhibition, Renaissance Women Artists, the one she'd been planning in her head for years. Adrian knocked on her door frame, holding 2 coffee cups. Oat milk latte extra shot, he said. You do know my order now. You told me, repeatedly. I wrote it down. Good. He kissed her. Set the coffee on her desk. How's the proposal coming? Good, I think. The board seems interested. They should be. It's brilliant. You're biased? Extremely. Doesn't make it less true. She leaned back in her chair. Remember when I was just giving tours? You were never just giving tours. You know what I mean. I do, and I'm proud of you. For what? For getting here, for building this, for becoming who you were meant to be. That's very sappy. I'm a sappy person now. You did this to me. I regret everything. He laughed. She loved his laugh, still loved it after 6 months, after hearing it every day. Dinner tonight? He asked. Can't, working late. This proposal is due Friday. Tomorrow then? Tomorrow works. My place? Do I have to pretend the optional shower is charming anymore? We're moving in 3 weeks. You can stop pretending. Thank God. They'd found an apartment together. Brooklyn brownstone, working shower, 2 bedrooms so she could have an office. Their first place together. Her phone buzzed. She checked it, smiled. What? Adrian asked. Mira's coming to visit next month. She wants to meet the famous billionaire boyfriend. Should I be nervous? Terrified. She's protective. More protective than Jazz? Jazz likes you now. Mira hasn't decided yet. Great. Priya stood, kissed him goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Text me when you get home tonight. I will. And send me a voice memo about your day. You want voice memos now? I want to hear about your day, in your voice, while I'm doing boring work things. That's actually kind of sweet. I have my moments. He left. She watched him go. Still couldn't believe this was her life. 6 months ago, she was giving tours and drowning in debt. Now she was curating, planning exhibitions, living with the man she loved. Well, almost living with him. 3 more weeks. She pulled out her phone, started recording. Hey, Adrian, voice memo number, I don't know. 300 something, today was good. The board seems interested in the Renaissance Women exhibition. I'm cautiously optimistic, which means I'm terrified but trying not to show it. Also, I love you. Even when you're annoyingly supportive, talk later. She sent it, went back to work. Across the museum, Adrian's phone buzzed. He listened to the memo, smiled, recorded one back. Voice memo response. The board is going to love it because it's brilliant and you're brilliant. Also, I love you too. Even when you're pretending the optional shower isn't slowly destroying your will to live. 3 more weeks. He sent it. Kept walking. This was their new normal. Voice memos back and forth, chosen, mutual, open. Everything the original 47 weren't. On a Saturday afternoon 2 months later, Adrian texted her. Can you meet me at the museum? I have a surprise. I don't like surprises. You'll like this one. You said that about the Frick collection. And you did like it. Fair point. She met him at the museum. He was waiting outside a gallery, looking nervous. What's going on? She asked. Come see. They walked into a gallery she'd never seen prepared like this. Empty. Waiting. A single plaque on the wall. She read it. Her eyes went wide. The Priya Sharma Gallery of Renaissance Women Artists, opening spring 2027. She turned to him. What did you do? I talked to the board about funding, about the importance of this work, about you. Adrian, your exhibition, your dream, it's happening. Full funding, full credit, full control. She was crying. This is too much. It's not enough, but it's a start. I don't know what to say. Say you'll let me take you to dinner. To celebrate. Okay. Say you'll keep teaching me about art. Okay. Say you'll marry me. She stopped, stared at him. What? He pulled a ring from his pocket, got down on one knee, right there in her gallery, the gallery with her name on it. Priya Sharma, will you marry me? She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again, murmured to herself, barely audible. Say yes. Stop overthinking. This is what you wanted. Someone who knows you, who actually knows you, even the weird parts, especially the weird parts. He heard her. Of course he heard her. Tears filled his eyes. Is that a yes? He asked softly. She realized he'd heard. You're listening again? Always, if you'll let me. Yes. Yes to letting me listen? Yes to everything. Yes, I'll marry you. He slid the ring on, stood up, kissed her. I have something else, he said. More than a gallery with my name on it. One more thing. He pulled out his phone, played a voice memo. His voice. Priya, this is voice memo number 473. I've been counting. Every day since we met, every conversation, every moment. I know it's excessive. But I'm a data guy, and the data says I'm completely in love with you. She laughed through tears. His recorded voice continued, You were right about Caravaggio, by the way. Artemisia deserved better. You deserve better. You deserve galleries named after you and exhibitions that showcase the women history forgot. I fell in love with your voice before I saw your face. I fell in love with your thoughts before I knew your dreams. And I know that started wrong. I know I should have told you. But Priya, every day since then I've been falling in love with you all over again. So here's voice memo 473, the most important one, asking you to spend the rest of your life with me, to send me voice memos forever, to let me listen, to let me love you, all of you, every version, every voice, memo, every moment. The recording ended with, I love you, Priya Sharma. I mean it, and I promise I'll always send snacks. She was fully crying now. You used all three. All three what? The sign-off, the voice memo number, the Caravaggio thing. You used all the running jokes. I'm thorough. You're excessive. You love me anyway. I really do. 8 months later, they got married. Small ceremony at the museum, in the Artemisia Gentileschi section of her gallery, the one that would open to the public in 3 months. Their people gathered, Jazz as maid of honor, Marcus as best man, Priya's parents, museum colleagues, Mira on video call from London holding a care package of snacks. Victoria was there, in the back, professional, cordial. She'd been transferred to a different department. Nobody talked about why. The vows were simple, heartfelt, real. Adrian went first. I promise to listen to every voice memo, to respond to everyone, to never take for granted that you choose to share your thoughts with me. And I promise that when you murmur to yourself, I'll always pretend I didn't hear. Except when I can't help it, because your voice is still my favorite sound. Priya smiled, wiped her eyes, started her vows. I promise to keep sending you voice memos, even the embarrassing ones, especially the embarrassing ones. I promise to forgive you for listening to 47 messages that weren't meant for you. Eventually. Maybe by our 5th anniversary, everyone laughed. And I promise to love you, mean it, and accept all the snacks you send forever. They kissed. Everyone clapped. At the reception, Marcus gave a toast, read one of the original voice memos. The guinea pig date. Voice memo 43. The room exploded with laughter. Adrian was mortified. Priya was crying, laughing. That's the memo that made you fall in love with me? She asked between laughs. That's the one. You're so weird. You married me anyway, as I caught the bouquet. Immediately threw it back. Absolutely not. One romance is my yearly limit. Later, after the reception wound down, they walked through the museum, just them, after hours like they had so many times before. Happy? He asked, incredibly. Any regrets? Just one. What? I wish I could go back and fix that one digit. Send the memos to the right number from the start. Really? She thought about it. No, actually, I'm glad I got it wrong. Yeah? Yeah, because you fell in love with the real me. The me I didn't know how to show people, and that's kind of beautiful in a creepy, stalker-adjacent way. I prefer romantically persistent. You would. They stopped in front of her gallery, her name on the wall. Her dream realized. Thank you, she said. For this. For everything. Thank you for giving me a second chance. Thank you for being worth it. Later that night, alone in their hotel room before leaving for their honeymoon, Priya pulled out her phone, recorded one last voice memo. Okay, Mira, voice memo number. I honestly lost count, but this one's important. I married the man who was listening, and it turns out he's still my favorite audience. She paused, smiled, continued. Remember when I sent you all those voice memos to your new London number and I got one digit wrong? And they went to a complete stranger for 3 weeks. And that stranger turned out to be a billionaire tech CEO who fell in love with my voice and came to the museum gala specifically to meet me. Yeah, that happened. And now I'm married to him. Life is weird, Mira, really weird, but also kind of perfect. The Priya Sharma Gallery opens next month. You better fly home for it. I'm curating an exhibition about Renaissance women who were overlooked by history. Women who deserved better. Women like Artemisia and Sophonisba and Lavinia. Women who were brilliant and forgotten. I'm not going to let them be forgotten anymore. Also, Adrian already sent the snacks to our hotel room. 3 different kinds. He's excessive. I love him anyway. Okay, I have to go. Honeymoon awaits. Love you, mean it, and guess what? She smiled, looked at Adrian asleep in the hotel bed. I finally got the ending right. She sent the voice memo, put her phone away, climbed into bed next to her husband, the man who'd listened, the man who'd heard her, the man who'd loved her before he ever saw her face. And somehow, impossibly, it had worked out. She fell asleep smiling. Across the ocean, Mira listened to the voice memo, laughed, cried, texted back, I'm so happy for you. Also, I'm definitely flying home for the gallery opening, and I expect a full tour from the curator herself. Love you, mean it. And tell Adrian the snacks better be good or I'm judging him forever. In the hotel room, Adrian's phone buzzed. He woke up, checked it, saw Priya's voice memo had arrived, the one she'd sent to Mira, but she'd also sent one to him separately. He opened it, her voice. Hey husband, that's going to take some getting used to. Voice memo number 500 and whatever, I'm not counting anymore. You can count for both of us. Just wanted to say I love you. Even though you listen to my voice memos like a creep. Even though you spent $4 million on an apology. Even though you're excessive and intense and completely ridiculous. I love you. I mean it. And thank you for the snacks. Sleep well. Dream about Renaissance art or don't. Dream about whatever you want. As long as you wake up next to me tomorrow. Good night, Adrian Blackwell, my favorite listener. He smiled, recorded one back. Good night, Priya Blackwell, my favorite voice. He sent it, put his phone down, pulled her closer. They'd started with 47 voice memos sent to the wrong number. They'd ended with forever. What did you think of Priya and Adrian's story? Let us know in the comments. Rate this story from 0 to 10. What score would you give it? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to catch all our stories. And check out more emotional stories by clicking right here on the end screen.